really nervous.
Good way to scare someone off.
Isn't it? Nice to have you here, though, Megan.
Nice to be here.
Have you been in one of these before?
No, not really. No.
Oh, you'll love it. It's good fun. Tatiana and Clint are awesome.
Thank you. I'm hearing is that my computer that I can hear coming back?
Yeah, I've got you on feedback.
Damn it.
There he is. He's in. The mighty Peter.
Professor.
There he is, son. Hello, boy. Look at those guns. Woo!
We've got a half smile, people. We've got a half smile. Just for background, Peter takes selfies looking very angry, but he's actually a really lovely person. The lips struggle to come up and actually smile, but we're getting a half one there, so I'm quite happy.
I'm hoping part of this course you're teaching us how to take a good selfie.
I can't take selfies either, so might have to talk to Glenn about that because I'm not good either.
I just want to look like Clint.
Nobody wants to look like me out of choice, boy. Hey? We've lost Lukey.
Have you?
Lost your camera, fella.
Really?
And is that Keely? Is that you? Hello, Keels.
How are you?
Oh, this is tremendous. Hey. Oh, there we are. Lukey, you're back, son.
My back?
Yep. All righty. Oh, Adele's just changed background I like that. Where are we? We're running a little LA vibe in the background there. A couple of palm trees. Just remember to unmute yourself before you speak and then remute yourself if you don't mind, guys. All righty. Starting to get a few through. That's good. All right. Guys, we'll give everyone a few more minutes to sort of jump on and have an opportunity to sort of commence the first call altogether. But as we sort of bounce through, we will try and make sure we say your name to make sure that you guys unmute yourself in time so that we can make sure that if we're going to address you individually, you have a little bit of an opportunity to unmute. You're more than welcome to keep your cameras on or to turn your cameras off. I would much prefer everyone had their cameras on. By the end of this, you all will, I promise you. Okay, that's a big part of what Lukey's here for. Get that mindset right and whatever else. But just remember, there's a whole bunch of guys in the challenge that we already know and love. So there will certainly be an opportunity for us to say a few things. There's also a meeting chat. So across to the right of your screen, if you press the button to pop the chat up, you have the opportunity to see who has joined, but also an opportunity to write in a little message there. And I'll moderate that little bad boy. Luke and myself will make sure we keep a little eye on that, just to if that way we make sure that there's the two of us looking at those questions. I can see Big Matty Gamble, the previous winner, has entered the building. Good to see you, Matty. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. I was just about to jump on the chat. I can't stay for too long. It's taking my daughter to her first concert tonight. They're going to Billie Eilish.
Oh, wow. Did you bring your tissues?
I'm going to be that creepy old dude at the back.
That is it. You got to have really little kids. If you got really little kids, you can dance because you're the cool dad dancing with the kids.
Yeah, they're 8 and 10, mate. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. So I'll have to jump off and leave you guys to it. I'm definitely going to catch up on the recording tomorrow. Yeah, but Yeah, it's good to see.
Matty, I'll ask you to do me a favour then tomorrow. Mate, I'm going to get to this when we get into the chat a little later. But, mate, I'm going to ask, obviously, the big goal for this week for me is going to be that everyone posts something about their training into the chat. Mate, if I could ask a massive favour of you as obviously last year's winner, if you could just pop in, write the things you really enjoyed, the things you got out of it, and just a few little pieces, of advice, I guess, for the group, because you were such a wonderful asset to the group. So, mate, if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, that'd be really appreciated.
Just on the Facebook group.
Just on the Facebook group, if you don't mind, mate. Yeah, anything that you think will help the other guys in the challenge. Any tidbits you've got, anything that you can think of to just push everyone in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure, mate. I'll leave you guys to it. I'll catch up with you soon.
Appreciate it, Matty. Take care, mate.
You. See ya.
Bye.
We probably all need to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, it's 6:02, so let's certainly start with the rose between two thorns. Pat, you're up.
All right. So for who hasn't seen my two posts, I've introduced myself a few times, but I'm Tatiana. I'll do all the nutrition food part. I have a big background in public health, so I'm not here to be super strict with what you're eating. I'm all about the holistic approach and everyone being healthy and happy. And I love food, so don't expect to eat very little. I love food, and I'm gonna find ways of eating more and enjoying more food, because food is life. So that's me. If you have any questions, we can answer them through the webinars, but I'll be quite active on Facebook as well. I just want to bring support to everyone with anything relating to food and supplements and diet and everything else around it. So that's me.
Wow, that was beautiful, T. Big Luke, let's flick over to you, my man. Introduce.
All right. Well, I'm Luke Maters. I'm the mindset person for this, so I don't know anywhere near as much as these other two about lifting heavy stuff and about eating the right food, but I do know how to get your brain right, and that's what I want to do with this. We've had a really big talk about what the sort of the judges' criteria for this is, and one that I was really pushing hard on is that whatever you change in this needs to be permanent. It needs to be something that I'm doing it because I want to do it and I want to keep doing it even after the 8 weeks. So that's my goal, is to get you thinking in a way that's actually going to be something that I permanently want to be this person that does this, rather than something that can just grunt it out for 8 weeks, because we can all do that. So my goal is to change everyone's way they're looking at this stuff, so that it's something that this becomes my identity. I'm the sort of person that trains, eats well, and talks nicely to ourselves. And I think that's going to be my goal, is to get everyone's self-talk in the right place.
Mate, that's fantastic. Guys, you're very lucky to have these two in the group. An absolute wealth of knowledge, and then you're stuck with me at the back end. My name is Clinton Hill. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, 25 years experience, been involved with body science now for 20 years. I guess the big piece of what I do is find ways to make exercise enjoyable. I'm also very big on having a good solid laugh. And for anyone who saw Peter's comment in the group, I'm also big on beer and bacon. So Tatiana hates part of what I believe in, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to challenge things. We're here to talk about things. Just in the chat, of course, the wonderful Pete has added in that Tat also loves to talk about poo a lot. Now, my job here is also to provide you guys with a little bit of a giggle as we go through, because Tat's a genius. Sometimes she even loses me, so I'll make sure I get clarity around how that works and make sure that you guys can really understand what it's really about. just to sort of, I guess, wrap up my intro, one of the biggest things for me, I'm obviously a very positive person. I really enjoy, the ocean, being involved with training. But the other big piece for me is, I want to be able to give you guys the absolute most of what happens in this group. And one of the ways that we've talked to Body Science about making sure that occurs is that we're gonna jump into that Facebook group as regularly as we can. But what we're really trying to aim for is that if there's a question that comes up, we want you to punch it into that group. We want you to make sure that it's in there. We will do our absolute best to get to those questions. But if someone else in the group knows the answer to that question, or maybe we talked about it last challenge, one of these guys will jump in, help you out, and really do what is necessary for you guys to all achieve. If you weren't on the beginning of the call, we had Matty Gamble, last year's winner, jump on very quickly. He's jumping out of here to take his daughter to Billie Eilish. Now, these are the kind of things that we want to talk about as a group. We want to make sure that we know more about you than your stock standard challenge. We became friends with a whole bunch of these people, and I can just see in the bottom right hand corner, Keely's trying to fight away. I'm not even sure who that was.
I'm so sorry, I'm babysitting.
Not a problem at all. This is part of it, right? We want to include families. We want to make sure of that. Pippa popped on earlier, and she put up a photo of her family, and a big part of this, guys, is we want change that changes all of you. We want change that changes members of your family. We want people to see the differences, and like Luke said before, that element of permanent change. Okay, so guys, I'll leave you there with my little bit of an intro. But welcome, thank you very, very much for joining us, and very, very proud to have you as part of the Body Science family.
Thanks, Glenn. So the next up is how we're gonna, I guess, judge the winners. So we're gonna have a male and a female winner, and we're gonna have what do you guys call it? Player MVP.
we have a thing called the MVP, which is the person that might not have had the best changes, that might not have done everything perfectly, but the one that contributed, the one that was there, and the one that everyone could rely on. A bit like that. I was that player in footy all the time that was never that good, but was always turned up and would cheer everyone on. So we want that guy, the most improved coaches award. That person gets one too. So do we want to go through what the prizes are, Tats?
Yeah. Do you know them better than I do?
Yeah, I've got them right here in front of me, so I can definitely
Guys,
pull them up.
We're a finely tuned machine that runs based on hope on the other party answering the question that we have no idea about.
5 things at the same time this morning, so Luke's got it. That's why we have the brains here. I bring
so there's going to be 3 winners. So there's going to be a male, a female, and the notable. So our coaches award. And all up is about 15 grand worth of prizes. So whoever wins in each of these categories gets to be a Body Science brand ambassador. And this is huge, because what you get from being a brand ambassador is you get over $3,000 worth of supplements in the year. So you basically get every bit of supplement you could ever want. You get a 1-hour consultation with Tatiana about nutrition, just one-on-one. You get a 6-week personal training program with Clint, and you get a 3-month mindset coaching sessions with me. So it's a really big deal. So the beauty of this is that you're going to come out and you're going to be a super fan of Body Science, and you're going to be a transformation king. So that's our prizes. And we might have a look at the judges, our criteria, if you like. And all 3 of us are going to vote 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for different people. And there's 4 categories that we want to get in. We want engagement, so how much you're on Facebook and how much you're helping others. Really about helping others. That's massively important. Your commitment, how much you made a plan and stuck to it. The results, so measurable results. If it's how much you lift, different things that you've lost weight, any of those things, that's part of it as well. And the bottom part was my one, and that was that I want whatever changes you make to be permanent, because we've got to want to change. There's no point doing a change that takes a whole bunch of effort all the time, because as soon as things get hard and as soon as things get stressful, those changes go out the window. So that's what we want. We want engagement, commitment, results, and permanence. So I'll pop all of this stuff in the Facebook page as well, and we can have a look at that.
Yeah, so
Right.
with the commitment, I think Clint and I were very similar last year. Had, for example, with the nutrition, we had some people that every now and then had some KFC and they felt horrible about it. I hate KFC. I'm going to put it out there. But
I do not. I do not.
Don't like the dirty bird.
But being
Doesn't
committed
everyone love
doesn't
the
mean
dirty
that
bird?
you're not going through that. My whole point here is commitment is not about being perfect. It's about being able to get over things, push through it, and continue on that long-term journey. Because reality is, if I think you're going to be 8 weeks without eating a pizza or KFC or whatever that makes you happy, I know after these 8 weeks, you're just going to blow out of the diet. So commitment is not, it's not about being
Commitment's not
perfect.
perfection.
It's about moving on, because you can be really committed for a week or two, and then as soon as you break out of that commitment, you feel like a failure, you give up on everything, and you completely give up on the program. So that's even worse. So commitment is not being perfect, it's about continuing and believing the process as well. Yeah?
Yeah, perfect. Now, like I guess from my perspective here, guys, and just jumping in to sort of boost everything that these two have just said, you know, we've got a couple of guys returning from the previous challenge. I think from memory, I think there's only 2 or 3 that are not returning from the previous challenge. So that's a fantastic commitment from those guys, and one that should be totally applauded. You know, that's why we're here. We're here to change lives. We're here to change the way people think about themselves and feel about themselves. But there's a very interesting person that I want to just quickly jump on. Lapani, can you please unmute yourself, my man? You knew I was going to do this to you, didn't you, mate? Now, look, so there's people in this group that you know, I saw amazing changes in. You know, myself and T talked about this every day, and these guys, you know, were just utterly tremendous with the way they changed their lifestyle, changed their life. You know, went to meal prepping. You know, they were putting these amazing recipes and amazing foods into the group, and you know, I was just so impressed, and I'm so happy that you guys have decided to join us again. Spending time with you guys was certainly a highlight of the challenge for me. And you know, as I said earlier, there's guys like Pete, Keely, Matty, Granger, Pippa, Glenn. You know, people that have, you know, changed part of my life. You know, so now Pete, I want to verify that I am pushing heavily for a bacon and beer flavored protein powder. I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about this, mate, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to get it across the line, but you better believe I'm out here trying for you every day, my friend. Okay?
That's a no for me. Now, but jumping on the back of that, what we have next on the schedule is to explain the group rules, and it's really important to make sure we continue in that support. It's going to be part of how we judge how well you're doing in the challenge, but it's also something that we want to make sure the group has. I've been part of a lot of challenges outside of Body Science from other gyms, and I was just the nutrition part of it. And those groups can get really nasty. People get frustrated. They started fighting against each other. Guys, like technical stuff, for example, you guys have been great with it. No one is perfect. Sometimes we're going to have some issues with the website. That doesn't mean that we don't care about you guys. So please be nice to each other. Please be nice to us, because I understand nothing about computers and web. But also, like Lepani, for example, he was one of like our best players of the year last year. Every time he felt frustrated, instead of putting his frustration out as a frustration, he would put it out and then make sure everyone was being inspired by that. He'd be like, oh, I had KFC, and then they like, guys, let's keep pushing it, you know. So that's what we're looking for. And if I have one rule for this group is, please do not be nasty to each other. If you're frustrated, you can come to the group and the group will support you. But let's make sure we keep that really nice environment, because that's the whole point of the group. I just had one athlete that he was actually surf life saving. He was he got a prize of junior of the year or something a couple of years ago, and he just joined the challenge. And he said, you know, like, I have my own training, so I can't do much with the training. And I said, but the biggest part of the challenge is the group environment. So please, let's make sure we're keeping that up. I know we're going to have frustrations, and I know we're not always going to be happy, but we need to support each other. So that's the rule. We do want to see lots of posts, and we want to see you guys engage. You know, like when people post their pretty smoothies and they workouts, that's how you push each other. So let's keep that up as well. We're going to do the best as coaches to be doing that as well. And yeah, I think that's the rules. Send the questions through the group, and then we try to answer on the webinar. I probably won't have time to answer absolutely everything like we were with a smaller group on the Facebook page, but we can save those questions and then reply answer to them on the webinar. Yeah, that's good with that. I'm so excited that, like, last year I was actually just showing some of the videos to Luke this morning, and like some of the videos at the end of it I was actually crying, because it was such a nice environment to be in. We went out for lunch, you know, I got flowers, but it was just a beautiful environment, and I was really scared of it because I had some horrible experiences with challenges, and you know, we all get tired sometimes, we all get hungry sometimes, we all get sore sometimes, but is really the family that's going to make that better and a lot easier.
It's one of the things, one of my big areas of expertise is stress, and so I want to really help people get better at stress. And when Tatiana was showing me these before and afters last time, you could see the stress on people's face. They were like, they looked older, they looked inflamed, they looked terrible. And then 8 weeks later, you know, it looked like a younger, healthier, vibrant version of everyone. I guess that's what we're after, to be able to change in a way that we're going to let some of that stress slide off us, and to be able to get a bit better at that sort of stuff, so that we're not going to food as our sort of coping mechanism. And that's one of my big things too. I think we've got to work out what are our options and how can we change our behavior so that the option that is our default becomes the one that helps us. And that's one of the big things I want to get out of for everyone, that our default option becomes the option that helps us. Your thoughts, Clint?
Not just food, exercise as well. We see a lot of people exercising because they're punishing themselves. I think Clint can talk better about that, but we always talk about food as an outlet for stress, but exercise as well. You have a lot of people that overtrain because they're hating on themselves because they had pizza. So all aspects of life, we want to make sure we change that. So moving on, are you guys ready to talk about the plan for the next 8 weeks in terms of what we're doing with the coaching?
Yep. Let's go.
Yeah. So if you've downloaded your plans, I can explain them a little bit. Do you guys have any questions about the plans? Have you all downloaded the plans of the new guys?
Look, so let's before you go down that path, just let's each of us explain that. We'll get to the questions at the back end.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that there's a couple of questions also come through on the Facebook page, which I'll jump on and just make sure that we moderate that as well. So T, you explain your nutrition side. Lucy, you explain what's happening with mindset, and then I'll go through the training, and then I'll come back around in a second.
Awesome.
All right, so the plan is very simple in My Body Science. It can get a bit confusing, and I can answer questions if you have, but basically you're going to have sections, and you're going to choose one ingredient from each section and build your meal that way. What that does is that I'm not giving you exactly what to eat. I'm teaching you how to build your plate. I'm teaching you how to build your diet. That's really important for me. I always talk about empowerment. I am not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm here to empower people to be better with their diet. So you're gonna have as many options as you want, and you can add the extras that are free. So spices, herbs. That's what's gonna make your life interesting. Really, you can really have rice and beans and chicken every day, but if you change the spices up, you can have Mexican, and then you can have Brazilian food, and you can change it up a little bit. One thing that we had last year that I'm sure we're going to have this year, and I'm already getting questions about it, is people coming with a set diet. They're saying, I don't know, I eat this, and this works for me. What I want you guys to do for this challenge, at least for the beginning, drop your guards down, believe the process. If you're here, it's because you want help and you want support. Let's work with what we have, and let's try. We had some amazing people last year that had issues eating. They thought they were eating too much, and they slowly built into it. Food is a beautiful thing. Don't get scared of it. Don't try to overcalculate. Don't try to undereat, because it's going to make it worse. If you're here, please believe that I can. Please trust me. Drop your guards down, and let's try to do this properly, okay? So the plans are there. They were very well calculated. I put all the calculations on the back of that system, and the plans are ready for you to go. The only thing that I'm going to say is that the vegetarian plan, the vegan plan is vegan plan, and then there's people that are vegan but they eat eggs, and then there's people that are vegetarian but they eat fish. So that was really complicated to do. If you want to test it, you can always download the vegan plan and the non-vegan plan and cross them over. That way you have heaps of options. You can have a vegan day, you can have a non-meat dinner, and then you know how to cross it over. Yeah?
Awesome.
Well done, T. As always, guys, one of the biggest things that you have in this girl is just she will give you the world. Just give her an opportunity to make sure she has a chance to answer it. As we said, there are now 340 people into this group. Okay, congratulations to everyone. Okay, that's a huge, huge part of this. So we will take our time to get to some of those questions. Obviously, there'll be lots. We're super pumped about that. And we do want all those questions to come through, but we just need to make sure, and exactly as Peter says in the chat just here, if you don't like Tatiana's answer, you just ask me, you'll get a better one. Okay? Especially if it comes to eating bad food, I will be the one that shows you how to make sure that if you eat something that's not so crash hot, you can hopefully balance that out a little bit with just a little bit of extra training or something along the lines there. Because as T said, we're looking to make sure that you really have that opportunity to understand that we're not about just perfect. Okay, we're all going to make mistakes. I absolutely love my beer, my bacon, and my chocolate. I'm not going to be someone that it runs a perfect 100% diet every week. So, all right, pop over to Lukey, mate. Let's run through your next 8 weeks of mindset training, brother.
Yeah, I reckon the first one I really want to get doing is we're going to do an exercise called Finding Carlos. And I won't go through the long story. I'll do that next week. But finding Carlos is all about finding the characteristics of what you are at your best. And when the best version of me turns up, he turns up as curious, creative, generous, and present. They're my sort of, I call them trademark traits. So one of the first things we're going to do this time next week is we're actually going to go through this process of finding out what your trademark traits are. And when we can do that, it's almost, there's a Stoic philosopher called Seneca, and he had this great expression that if you don't know what port you're heading for, no wind is favourable. And I think sometimes we don't quite know exactly who we want to be or what we want to do, so we don't quite know where to go. So we end up a bit rudderless and a bit lost. My goal is to help you find what your North Star is, what the things you want to get onto. My latest book is actually called Curious Habits, and we're going to have that on the Body Science thing, so you can get that from there down the track. But one of the things, a curious habit is something you think, feel, or do where your default isn't helping you anymore. And I'm sure we've all got, it's not necessarily bad, and it's not like it's a bad habit. In certain situations, it might be a very good habit. But if we're going to things like chocolate as anxiety medication, that's a curious habit. We want to have a look at that and look at what our other options are. So we're going to work out what the best version of us is. There's like that old cartoons with the angel on one side and the devil on the other. I want to know which one of them's talking to you, and I want you to know, be able to, diversify between those two voices and know when the good version of you is talking and when the devil's talking. And when we can do that, we can make sure we're hearing one that's actually going to serve us. So a big part of what I'm going to do is going to be about changing habits, but also about sort of that self-talk and self-awareness. And once we can get that, I think we can have better strategies to deal with some of the tough things that go on in our world. And I really want to hear what I'm going to learn from Clint about what to lift and how to do it. And bring it on, brother.
Look, guys, first things first, thank you to both of these guys. Obviously I was just mucking around there with Lukey's current book, Curious Habits. He gave this book to me just recently when I was on the Gold Coast to film some content for Body Science. And one of the things that really struck me is the sort of one of the, I guess, the catch cry, if you will, why we do what we do and how to change, right? Now, for me, it's super important for you guys to see that some of the things that both of these guys have spoken about, whether it be why you go to, beer, why you go to chocolate, why you go to bacon as your comfort foods, why do you do these things? I know why I do them, because I bloody love them. Okay, so that's not going to change, but good luck with that one. Now, what I think one of the things that I would really push you guys to understand is why your habits are the way they are. And for me, my habits are really simple. My habits are my training, my time in the ocean, my reading, and understanding that I want to spend plenty of time with the people that I love. Now, I think one of the biggest things that I am here for is to help you understand that the type of exercise you do not just creates everything that is fun and exciting in your life, but it also, I can obviously see Kira's looking after, someone here, and if he's watching, g'day mate, how are you? I'm talking to you, little buddy. Okay. So one of the key elements of this is that we want to reshape the lives of your loved ones, your families, and everyone around you. So as part of what I'm going to do this week is I'm committing to putting an exercise into the group each week, a new exercise. Now, it may not be in your program, but I want you to talk to me about those particular exercises, because they may be in your next program at the end of, at partway through, when we change from the first 4 weeks to the second 4-week program. Now, going through this, I guess one of the things that we learned from the last challenge is that as your body starts to change, we want to make sure that we adapt with you. Okay, so the programs that I've written have changed. The guys who will have started, you'll be starting on the same program that you would have started on last time round. But at the 4-week mark, you'll get a brand new program that'll totally change the way things work and add some new challenge to your day. Now, off the back of that, I'm going to give you my first week of homework, if you will. Okay. No, Pete, it is not an ice bath week 1, although we know I absolutely love them. But week 1, all I ask of every single person in the group is to just pop something into the Facebook group, whether it's, hey, just completed my first workout, it was great. Or pop in a question, show me a squat. I'll attempt to critique it and show you what you need to change. But the biggest part of this is I also want you to enjoy it, okay? Have some fun with it, enjoy what we're doing. obviously the retention that we had from the last challenge shows that these guys got a heap out of it. So ask them questions as well. Don't ask me and these two are in front of you. The rest of the group are probably smarter than the three of us put together. You know, Pete's sitting there with your genius written all over his face, and you know we've got people like Kira. So we just want to make sure that you guys can see the value of talking within the group. Okay, so please, from me, first week up, I just want something into the group about training. Please, please, please.
What about you, Tats?
I will have the challenges. We had that last year as well. So you actually posted on the comments. But I also have challenges like, I don't know, beauty or breakfast, and it will help people understand how you use the tables, the food plan in different ways and how you can get creative with it. But I also always ask for people to think of food in different ways than just calories. Because that's the really big problem I see when I get people to go on a diet. People are really worried about the amount of calories they're consuming. And what we learned last year, and it worked so well, especially with people that had struggled with that and eating enough, was that we find love in food in different ways. So I'll get you to tell a story. Why are you eating the breakfast you're eating? Is that because there was a blogger on Instagram that told you to, or is because you grew up with your grandmother making porridge for you type thing? So every week I'll have a video posted that will be the topic of the week, and then I'll have a little challenge or homework for you guys. But what I want for this week is for you guys to really have a good look at your plan. Printing it out sometimes is really easy because you can take it to the shops and it's really easy to understand what you need to eat. You don't need to buy absolutely everything that is on the plan. You can pick like 1 or 2 breakfasts for that week, and then you buy enough for that. So for this week is really understanding the My Body Science, how the plan works, seeing if you need any help with it. I will post something tomorrow on the group, and you can post your questions underneath it. And really falling in love with food again. I want you guys to look at the plan and say, instead of saying, oh my God, I have to eat chicken with broccoli, is looking at the plans and be like, I can make, I don't know, chicken tacos for dinner for my whole family. And I want you guys to think of how you can incorporate that with your social settings and your family settings as well. So from the start, you don't think you're getting restricted. I want you to think of what you're getting out of it rather than what you're missing. Yeah. One thing that I always talk about is think of things that make you happy. Like pizza, for example, is something that I'll probably have once a week. I love pizza. I'm a Brazilian pasta, bread, pizza, everything with carbohydrates I'm loving. But it's something that makes me happy. If I go and have McDonald's, for example, it's going to make me feel sick. It's going to make me feel horrible. It's not worth it. But pizza, I love having my pizza. So if you're getting out of the diet, think of things that are really worthwhile. And don't blame yourself for it. Don't try to eat less when you wake up the next day. Don't try to exercise more. It's all about moving forwards and keeping consistent. The thing that happens when you eat well is that your body will learn how to deal with the bad foods a lot better. So
Tat, one of the things that I just heard that you say then was that if you eat badly, don't blame yourself, blame you. Is that right?
No.
That's what I heard. Am I right?
I heard the same thing, Clint. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Perfect. Good. Let's move on. Beautiful. Wonderful. Blame Tat when you eat bad. Got it. Thank you very much.
No. So, yeah, I think for this week, what we're going to talk about is just understanding the plan. The guys from the previous challenge can really help with that as well. But drop your guards down and fall in love with food again. I want you to think the opportunities that you have with that plan rather than what you're missing out. Okay. And if you're missing something that you like, I cannot live without this, let me know and I'll fit it in. But we need to talk about it. You can't feel guilty because, I don't know, I'm Brazilian. I like to eat like a little, I can't explain what farofa is. It's like a carbohydrate thing. It's like basically breadcrumbs with with rice and beans, so it's like full of carbohydrate. I can't feel bad for that. I love it and I can't live without it. So learn how to deal with what you need to be happy and healthy at the same time. So no shame in that. I'll have to deal with the bacon because bacon is something that I get asked about all the time, but that's okay because I found Clint's soft spot as well. I'm gonna tell everyone to do high intensity workouts with no rest whatsoever, and then he can tell people to have bacon, and then we're even.
There we go. There we go.
So as a new person on the block, basically our goal is to really undermine and piss the other coaches off. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Nice. I'm in.
That's what happens here. Yep.
I think the whole point of it is for us to take the fear out of being healthy. I think everyone is so terrified of it. People are so used to not achieving what they started to achieve, and it becomes such a fear factor is to be part of this. And really the whole idea of getting healthier is to be happier and have more time with your family, have more energy for your kids. So we always going to be laughing at each other because it's not meant to be super serious. It's meant to be fun and healthy in every aspect. So yeah, get ready.
I think
Luke.
one of the things you said there, Tatiana, about being able to eat that food that you really like with breadcrumbs and rice and carbs, and you really, really like that. One of the things I want people to get curious about is what sort of stuff are they eating? What sort of things are they doing that they're actually not getting any enjoyment out of? And let's have a look at getting rid of them. There's a thing that happens when you build a habit, when you've done something enough times, that you've done it so many times, you've created these pathways in your brain. Is it you'll still do the familiar pathways even if it's not serving you anymore? I know from firsthand, I used to be 120 kilos. I'm about 92 now. And I was a big unit. And part of the reason I was a big unit. Yeah, perfectly muscle. But part of the reason I was a big unit was I was an optometrist and I was frustrated with asking the same question all day long. And by about 2 PM, I'd be really agitated and just pissed off with the world. My way of dealing with that was chocolate chip cookies and Pepsi Max. All right. So throwing sugar and caffeine on an agitated system was my way of dealing with that. And wondered why my pants didn't fit, wondered why I had indigestion, and wondered why I couldn't lose weight even though I trained like a madman. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about something you might not have heard of before. It's called reward invariance. So it's basically something that I think would be rewarding, but it's not rewarding at all, and I'm still doing it. It's almost like banging your head against a wall thinking this is going to fix things. So what we want to do is get people to get curious about what they're doing, why they're doing it, but also what they're getting out of it. And then what we want to do is be able to swap that for something else that they're actually going to enjoy. There's a little diagram on there that hopefully we can see. Can we see that, boys? About how to swap out the loops that aren't serving us and into ones that will.
We'll pop that on the.
I'll post that on the thing.
Yeah, perfect. Good.
But one thing I want us to do, I reckon curiosity is a superpower. I reckon if we can actually get really, really curious about what we're getting out of the things we're doing and what things we're doing just out of default and they become reward invariant, and what would be another option. And one of the things I found that I used to, instead of going for chocolate chip cookies and Pepsi Max, I had a friend of mine taught me about diaphragmatic breathing, and all I would do was sit in my consulting room chair and just breathe into my stomach for 2 minutes, and then notice the fact that I felt way calmer after that, and then go, oh, I feel great now. Let's go out and see the next one. So I didn't need sugar. I didn't need Pepsi Max. And so I got rid of the agitation in a way that actually served me. And that became the habit I wanted to do. And what we're going to do is go really deep into some of these habit changes and how to change them because you want to change them, not because you have to.
That's awesome. Now, guys, I'm going to do something that, of course, I don't ask questions. I do something and then I get in trouble for it later. So week 1, there are 2 things that I'm going to give away. So the first one is a copy of Luke's book, okay? So the
I can give that away. I've got more than you do.
Mate, that's fine. The person that shows the most involvement in the group, week 1, gets a copy of this bad boy. And the person that shows me the best exercise video week 1 gets one of these bad boys, the new Body Science retro shirts. I'm wearing one today. This one's my favourite, the one with the cougar on it. This bad boy, it's got a Harley on it. I can see Kira's got one of the. I'm not sure which one that is. It's not clear enough on my screen. But which one's that?
Eagles.
The eagle.
The Eagles wings.
Yeah. So look, guys. I think I don't ask these questions before I do them. It's I do it and then ask for forgiveness later, which is much the same way that I train. I do it and then I ask my body for forgiveness later. Yes, Pete, you do have the classic. It's still my absolute stock standard favourite. It's the number one. There it is. Yeah, Lukey's got it on right now. Okay. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm just going to quickly run through. There's a couple of questions here from the Facebook group, and there's also a couple of questions here. Tat, what have you got for us there?
1 second. The photos are always an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Really make sure you're taking the photos. A lot of people that didn't take it on the first week because they felt embarrassed or they didn't like themselves or whatever it was, really regretted not taking them. Take the photos. One thing that made a massive difference, Matt, for example, and Stillwin, I can never say that name, but they had the photos on the same spot with the camera on the same angle. That will really show the difference of what we're trying to achieve. So get the photos. You don't need to send it straight away. If you're having problems uploading it to MYBODYSCIENCE, I think is a problem as well. Don't worry about it. Keep it to yourselves, and I'll get that at the end of the challenge. But it's really, really important for yourselves as well to see how far you've gone, because sometimes we can't see it. And we had a lot of people that even at the 8th week, they couldn't see it. And when I put my video together talking about them, I could show, neck is a lot smaller. That's an issue for me because of hormones. I think like it's really healthy, like around the waist area. I always talk about it is dangerous fat there. So I can really talk you through that, and Clint as well. So make sure you take the photos, same angle, maybe a white background, so we can really analyze where you're getting. But at the same time,
what about we put up one of the photos from last year that worked really well, that looks really good, so that people can see what we're talking about there, because I'm absolutely shithouse at this stuff, as you guys all know, and anyone who was involved last year will absolutely attest to the fact that I've got absolutely no idea how to do anything in that realm. Thank God I'm good at being a strength and conditioning coach, because I'm absolutely hopeless at everything else.
I'm the same. And look, when we're not comfortable about what we're taking photos, it makes it even harder. We don't want to look at it. And I completely respect that, because I would really struggle to take a photo of myself in a bikini right now. But do it for yourself. And the other thing as well, I don't want you guys looking at these photos and looking at yourself in the mirror every single day. Probably from the first 4 weeks, you're not going to see a lot of difference. We had a lot of people. We saw a lot of difference in the first week for a lot of people because of stress, because of they eating better, their body was just moving better. But don't expect too much of your body, and don't stress yourself out in the first 4 weeks. Take the photo, relax, and enjoy the process. But take the photo, please.
Awesome.
Look, that was awesome, mate, because, I think, one of the big pieces of feedback we got at the back end of the challenge last year was exactly that. The guys that didn't take that photo, they definitely were disappointed that they didn't. Now, look, guys, if you don't want to share it day one, we're totally okay with that, but take the damn photo, okay? Because I promise you, you will be pleased that you've done it, okay? Now, there's a couple of little things there. Now, I'm trying to message Ash. Ash is in the background. She's one of the gurus at Body Science. I've just asked her a quick question. So, Ash, read your bloody text messages, please, so that I can do what I'm asking to do. I've written it into the group.
It to you.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you, mate. It just came through. So, guys, I'm just going to quickly run you through a couple of things, because the book that I'm trying to give away from Luke is still included in the packs that we've included for you guys. There's there's an introductory pack to make sure that you guys can either, there's a get lean stack, there's a couple of options there around vegan, around everything there. There's a building muscle pack, which obviously everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of, and a micronutrient stack. So now that is in the MYBODYSCIENCE stacks on the website. Guys, one of the biggest parts to this is that when we go through this, each week, we'll talk about different supplements. We'll talk about why you would take certain things. We'll talk about why we think certain things are important. You've probably already seen Tats and my head on there talking about different sups, okay? One of the key parts to this is understanding what's going to work for you. We're all about bang for your buck, financially creating the right growth group for you. So you understanding why those supplements are the reason that you should be taking them and how they can enhance everything you do. One of the biggest things, for example, obviously I'm a huge muscle building fan. One of the biggest parts to my life and what I've done is I'm looking to get people to stack on, good quality muscle, that lean quality, reducing their body fat, looking good, feeling good, and obviously being strong for life. But the idea of some of these stacks and some of these packaging is what we're looking at here, guys, is you getting the absolute most out of your training. You being able to recover faster, being able to get back to training quicker, and also feeling better about everything when it comes through. So sleeping better, which obviously Luke will talk about, those elements. And like, Pete and I have been a little bit of banter in the background here while everyone's been on the chat. Luke's got a couple of books. Pete's got a book. I'm not downloading your book, Pete, because obviously it's got bugger all to do with this challenge. Yeah, I know it's more than one, mate. I know. You're a bloody genius. Okay. And yes, I have started writing my book. Okay. So you will be happy that I've done that, mate. I'm well into it. But I think one of the biggest parts of everything to do with the challenge, guys, and what I'm really here for is to help you guys understand that if you need more help, okay, we are here for you, okay? There's ways to jump into the group, run through everything, and make sure of it. Craig's just asked, where are the downloads? If you haven't got this information yet, please jump into the Facebook group, ask us, or you can obviously also email the admin team at MYBODYSCIENCE and they'll go through that and make sure that everyone has all of that detail. There will be some, let's just say, some technical errors with a group of 340. Even I will make mistakes. I know that's a shock to anyone who knows me. I think I've made 3 in my life. I'm sure during this challenge I may make a 4th. Look, maybe I won't, but it's more likely that I will. Okay, so guys, that's probably it from me at this stage. Luke, is there anything left there from you before I throw over to some questions from the floor?
Mate, I'd just like everyone to get curious about what's getting them started on doing the things that aren't helping them. I really want to have a look around for the cues that actually get you started on what sends me to KFC, what makes me not go to the gym, what are the things that actually, I love the idea of triggers and cues, which we'll get into one of the weeks, but I want to sort of work out what the triggers are for you to do the things that aren't towards moves, aren't moving you towards who you want to be. So I want to try and find out, have some self-awareness with that.
Also, on the back of what Luke's saying, the things that you've tried many times, like fad diets, and you keep coming back to it. So it's not just the KFC, it's not just the things that you consider to be bad, it's those diets that we keep talking about and people keep coming back, I've done the keto diet and it really works for me. Has it really? Let's have a look at it and see if it's really working for you. Luke actually told me a story today that I thought was really relevant for the nutrition part. If Luke can say it again. The story
of Sisyphus.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sisyphus was one of the gods from ancient Greece, and the gods from ancient Greece were renowned for being real assholes. They weren't very nice, and what Sisyphus did, he cheated death, and the punishment from Zeus, who was the god of the gods, for cheating death, was he sent him to the underworld, and he gave him the worst possible torture he could do. What Sisyphus had to do was push a rock up a hill every single day, only for that same rock to roll back down at the end of the day, and he had to do the same thing tomorrow. And I think we're doing that with behavior change a bit. We're a bit like Sisyphus, forcing ourselves to do a rock, push the rock up a hill. What I want to do is let the rock go and let's walk over and change the habits and stuff because we want to change them. And I think if we can do that, we can train the way Clint wants us to train. We can eat the way Tatiana is going to help us to eat. And then we're doing the thing that we want to do because we want to do it. And then when this whole challenge is over, we're left with this identity of someone who we really want to be, and the things that we're doing are serving us. And I think if we can do that, this challenge is going to be awesome. It's a transformation challenge. That's what we want it to be.
I'll bring up two people there, so I don't even think either of these two people are on the call. They will both watch it back, no doubt. Hayley and Andrea. So Andrea has already posted into the group. Looks fantastic. She's lifting well. She's super strong. She's done an amazing job. Husband and a child, very much, the mum that everyone wants to be. Also, as anyone who knows, she had to smash her smoothies at the rate of knots so that young Phoenix did not steal it from her. So she was fantastic for the group to show us some different smoothie recipes and have a bit of fun. Now, Hayley is a massive one for me. Hayley's currently part of the Indigenous Marathon Project. And again, guys, this is what I'm talking about. These are the things that the last challenge changed in these people. Hayley's out there running marathons now, which is just, huge. Like for Tatiana, that's something that happens every other morning. But for me, who has the knees of a 780-year-old dinosaur, I shan't be running a marathon ever again. As a matter of fact, I think that most of the time driving to the shop, which is about 800 metres away, is a challenge to me. Thank you, Uber Eats, so I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Now, guys, very simple from my end. I obviously like to have plenty of fun, and the two other coaches that you've got here are here for you. Okay, we are here to make this fun, enjoyable, and yes, there will be some downtimes. Yes, there will be some times where you get the shits with the system and you want to go away from the diet and you want to do this and you want to do that. We understand that. That's real life. Okay, we are here for you to make this fun, exciting, and also, as I said before, to find a solution to how I can get beer and bacon into a protein powder so I remain the happiest man alive. Tats, over to you, my friend. Let's wrap things up. If you guys are ready, I have no more questions on either chats at the moment. But if you wish to pop in another, question in there, please do so. We'll try and answer them before we jump off tonight. So, Tat.
You're muted, Tats.
Sorry.
I did that. I muted her. So, so sorry. Thank you. Ash has just popped in just to make sure the stacks are there. Thank you, Ash. Oh, sorry, Andrew. I didn't see you there. You're actually showing up as My Body Science guest. So I apologise that. I do apologise. Just make sure that that's the case. And as you can see there, one of Body Science's head troublemakers, Greg Young, is in the chat. He's just given me a wonderful little tip to get collagen in. The beauty one as well. I'm taking both these days. The beauty one I just pour on my face. I don't even bother consuming it anymore. I just rub it in. Pete, you might want to jump on that with me, buddy. We'll just rub it into our face. We don't even worry about it. Straight in, as they say. So, yeah. All right. So,
I think we're about to get kicked out of the group because Clint talks too much. Now, welcome everyone. Welcome back for the guys from last year. Let's have some fun and be supportive to each other. I'm looking forward to it. Really, really excited to have another challenge. So, and thanks, Luke, for being part of this one. Clint, we're just gonna have
looking
to
forward
deal
to
with each
meeting
other
everyone
then.
and looking forward to meeting everyone and getting this going. It's gonna be great.
Just one final little question there, John. John, I would like you to hold that question, and Greg Young and I will come back to you on that. I'm not allowed to say a word on this one, but let's just say, yeah, they're shit, and we're better. Thank you very much.
Well, you're talking about beer with protein. That's where it's getting from.
Whoa,
He's getting it from.
Whoa. Thank you very much,
See you,
guys.
everyone.
See you. Have a good
Bye.
night. Go have some food.
Take care.